Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be looking at 5 types of OG players. Some good, some bad. But I will 1,000,000% guarantee you that you have fought someone like this in online, whether it be in ranked, unranked, or even in a room. You might even find that you fit into one of these categories yourself. If you do, let me know down in the comments which type you are. Also, just to let you guys know, I have a Twitter and a Twitch I plan on streaming real soon. If you'd want to follow me, I'd really appreciate it. With that out of the way, let's get into it. First off, we have the Spammer. This is the kind of player that has 0 brain cells and uses the same moves over and over and over again, whether it be Ice Slide and Fireball spam, Wind Disc spam, or this. Yeah, I don't get it either. Typical characters these type of players will use are Todoroki, Overhaul, Toga, Inasa, and Bakugo. I'm not saying every single person spams with these characters, because there are some players who genuinely are amazing with them. Usually the players that spam with these characters are within the 100 to 700 point range, but there are still higher point players that do this. A good side to this though, is once you've fought enough of them, you learn how to counter them. For example, against Todoroki's Ice Slide and Fireball spam, you can actually just guard his Ice Slide and attack straight after. Then usually the spammer will revert to running away and spamming fireballs. But again, that's no problem since you can easily just guard them. Moving on to number 2, we have the Aggressor. These are the kinds of players that are all offense, no nonsense, and will constantly rush you. This is an amazing playstyle for damage, but not so good for defense. The downside is that players who do this leave themselves wide open for an attack. They focus so much on landing a hit start combo that they forget to guard and become predictable. After like 10 to 15 seconds of a match starting, you'll pretty much know exactly how to counter them. This is the type of player I fall into. Any character can be played aggressively, but the usual ones you'll see people using are Base Deku, Shoot Style Deku, Kami, All Might, Ida, and Rappa. Moving on to number 3, we have the opposite to number 2, which is the passive. In my opinion, these are the worst kind of players to fight, and some of the most boring matches you'll ever play in online. There's nothing wrong with being a little passive, as it's key to a good neutral, but these players take it to a whole other level. What they'll usually do is run around the map and refuse to push you, wait for you to attack first, so that there's an opening, then combo you. You might think to yourself, that doesn't sound too bad, it's only once or twice. No. They do this the whole match, and the worst part is they think that by doing this makes them a good player. The only, and this isn't even 100% guaranteed to work, way to try and stop them is to use the red move, and hope it works. In my experience, this works about 40% of the time. The other 60% they realise what you're doing and sidestep. Moving on to number 4, we have the Rage Quitter. Sadly, this is a big problem in online. You see, when Once Justice 2 came out in March 2020, they had a penalty system that would match people who rage quit against other people who did the same, and you would have to play a certain amount of matches before the penalty got taken away. The way you'd know you have this message is you'd have a message saying you did. I couldn't find an English screenshot for this, so I'll just translate.
Stop, villain! Intentional disconnections have been occurring frequently. Until the frequent disconnection rate drops, a penalty will be applied to your player card, and you'll only be matched with other players who disconnect frequently.
And a message would appear above your player card. Sadly, it stopped working after the first week of the game coming out, so now there's no penalty, and people can rage quit as much as they'd like. And they typically do this when things don't go their way in a match, or they're about to lose. And for the 5th and final type of player, we have the God tier players. These are the players who have the perfect amount of aggression, perfect neutral, and can just guard pretty much anything you throw at them. They are near unbeatable. If you want to stand a chance against these kind of players, you need to think outside the box and come up with creative ways to outsmart them. There are only a handful of players who have achieved this status, and it's well deserved. These are the type of players who enter all the big tournaments for Once Justice 2 and come within the top 5 every single time. They spend most of their days in online, coming up with new combos and ways to improve with the character that they use. If you ever get matched up against one of these, just try your best, that's all you can do. And that's it guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If this video gets 50 likes, I'll make a part 2. Again, thank you for watching, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!